Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to an episode of Total War Arena. So, a little bit different today, we are taking a look at the Tier 5 Slingers. So I've featured these units quite a lot between Tier 5, 6s and some other tiers in my Battle of the Week. Seems to be a fairly common one for me to get submitted is Slinger gameplay. But they're a unit I really haven't played very much myself since closed beta, where I sort of fiddled with them a little bit, had a little bit of a go with them, but didn't really get on very well with them. But obviously, I know they can be a particularly powerful unit, particularly at Tier 5, and I thought it was about time I tried my hand at them. I was particularly keen to try and get them up to Tier 7 to maybe consider using them in Ranked, because I thought, particularly with sort of the emergence of so many Tier 7 Barbarian archers, I thought Slingers could be quite a good counter to that in Ranked battles. And so, yeah, I thought I'd start with the Tier 5s and we'll work my way up. So far, I've been really impressed with them. They just have such a good firing arc, which is the nicest thing. They always shoot in a flat trajectory rather than shooting up and over like archers do. They just sort of shoot straight, which is really nice. Makes it really easy to get hits in. Combined with the fact that they just obviously have phenomenally enormous range. Because they're running, what, 152. It's far higher than any sort of archers are going to be coming up against. So that means enemy range units you can always shoot at from safety. As long as you keep distance, it's really not a problem. I am, of course, running them with multi-ADs, pretty much entirely just for the break ranks ability, which gives you that plus 18% movement speed, which is a permanent thing. Once you toggle it on, it's on permanently until you get attacked or you're out or something like that. And then on top of that, obviously, you get an infantry charge, which is nice. Just for that little bit of burst speed if you need to, and it actually lasts for 4 seconds, so it's a reasonable bit of distance you can cover in an emergency. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about them. I'm running them with the Archimedes Council consumable. I'm not really a fan of bullets and things, and the sort of the extra consumables. There is some possible benefits to them, like some of them, go for more damage at short range, which can be useful maybe if you get caught into that sort of situation, or go for extreme range at sort of a bit of reduced damage. But to be honest, by the time you toggle them on and off, and they don't really work between the units very clearly, it just seemed to be more effort than it was worth, and I'd rather just have the little bit of extra range that you get with Archimedes Council, and a little bit of extra acceleration is never a bad thing when you need to quickly try and dash into friendly units, so that seemed like a worthwhile ability to take to me, so that's kind of what I'm going for. I prefer passive things. You know what I'm like, I have enough to deal with micromanaging just on 3 units, never mind having to run extra ammo that have to switch in and out depending on the situation. It's just not workable for me, so I prefer to run with passive. So yeah, let's hop into a gameplay with these guys and see if we can cause a bit of trouble, because they are certainly a pretty good unit. So, we are loading into the Battle of Marathon with our Slingers. Looks like we've got top tier by the looks of things, which is certainly nice. I just want to make sure we stay with some friendly infantry. There's a little bit of cavalry kicking around in our team, so invariably there will be on the other team as well. We've got those spears there. But running up here, we've just got javelins, which aren't going to give me a lot of help. There is another unit of spearmen up here as well, so it may be worth pulling up and round if it comes to it to try and find a bit more support. Yeah, well, we'll see what it's like when we're spending. Hopefully we'll have time to make it to some infantry support. Oh, those guys have actually moved down the hill. So I'm going to go straight on with break ranks, obviously just to give me that movement speed buff. I think... Oh no, these spearmen here are pushing up. That's fine, I'll give us a little bit of support here. Try and push into the centre. Obviously we have really awesome range with these guys. So we will outrange any enemy missile units, so that's always a good thing. We don't know if they're going to have any artillery, they may well do. But we'll see if we can spot any enemy cavalry coming up, so if we can get some early shots on. Because at this tier, I'm finding these guys are actually pretty damaging. Their 148 melee missile weapon damage will exceed most defensive points of enemy barbarian cavalry, so you're going to be doing above penetration damage. Not that the penetration damage is that bad at 10, you're still getting a reasonable amount of hits in, because you actually land quite a lot of hits because of their flat arc. Makes it kind of easy to get damage in that sense. So yeah, so far I've been finding them pretty good at tier 5. Well, we can't see anything at all. Let's just keep moving up with our infantry. So we have got some Macedonian. Are they Leonidas? Yes, they are. Not exactly what I would like to shoot at, really, because they're going to have pretty good shield defense. So the enemy slingers are already coming into range. Let's push up a little bit and then go for a snipe. Whatever it is, strain, try and get a bit of extra range. I should have gone for an extra shot in on there, but look at the amount of damage we got. Okay, enemy archers in the open. Are we in range of these guys? We probably are. Let's pull back, pull back, pull back. No, we're not. We can shoot straight at them. Keep damage up. I'm going to go for a backwards focus fire in case they try and run. Like that, so we get a good hit. Plenty of damage. Nice early damage. That's what we want to be doing. Okay, and we're not taking any much damage in return. So let's just keep pushing up and get into range of these enemy tier 4 Greek archers. Should be able to smash them relatively easily, I would have thought. Shouldn't be too much of a problem for us. You know, you can see the sort of damage values we're getting on this sort of thing, you know, in the well into pretty high. Whoa, whoa, we're taking damage. Let's pull back. Keep out of range of people. We can keep range. We don't, no need for us to sacrifice anything. Let's try and just force these guys into Testudo, if we can. So even against these guys, we do a fair amount of damage. You know, with that 10 penetration damage, nothing to be sniffed at. Let's get some proper damage on these guys over here. Make sure we're not taking too much damage from anyone else. Get a focus fire in there. You know, it's how quickly you can rack up damage with these guys. And it's all about keeping range. You know, we have the range advantage, so I should be using it. Trying to keep back. You've got to be careful, obviously, that I'm staying sufficiently close to friendly support, which is a worry. And now these guys are pushing in. It's obviously not so good for me because it means I need to be pushing in as well. And that's going to bring me range into these enemy archers, probably. I'm going to stop that command because I'm going to cause friendly fire. But they're turning back around, so we'll go for them again. I notice there's some enemy cavalry behind us, so we've got to be careful of those guys. Trying to sort of keep observations at all times. Let's push up again then with the rest of our infantry. I notice we've still got some enemy slingers to deal with. I'm going to keep at range and go for my strain with them, because that way, unless they activate strain, I should be out of their range. Oh, but we've got problems. We've got problems. No, pull this way, pull this way, pull this way. Let's go for heavy infantry charge. Oh, I'm on my cooldown on strain. This is not what I wanted. Oh, that's going to be a bad hit. That was a very painful hit. The real killer there was I was caught on strain, which meant I was at 50% movement speed, painfully slow. I should maybe have gone off break ranks to try and reduce the charge deflect, the damage that I took. Yeah, that was quite painful. Let's try and get some damage on these guys if we can. One of my units is routed. So we should be able to open fire if we can. Now we're caught in hand-to-hand with these guys, which is a bit of a pain. With the way these mechanics work, it still thinks I'm in hand-to-hand combat with them. Which is really kind of annoying because a few of their units are caught there, you see at the back. Oh, and this unit is just taking forever to come back from routing. Find something else to shoot at in the meantime. That is why you have absolutely got to be staying in close range. Right. Okay. Try and get things back on track a little bit. So, keep a better eye out for cavalry. That's task number 1. Our hoplites are being driven back, which is a bit of a worry. It looks like we're going uphill. Let's get our break ranks back on to get our speed back up. Pull back up this way so we're staying in range of our friendly units. There's some enemy cavalry there. Let's try and get some shots in on them. We'll see sort of the damage that we're doing. Quite high amounts of damage you see on these guys. So that's okay. Causing a little bit of friendly fire, but it's another range unit. If I was a range unit, I'd rather be shot at to get cavalry dead in this sort of situation. So I'm happy to do this. Although they've now been caught on pikes, that's good. So we'll cease fire there because we're going to end up causing too much friendly fire. Let's make sure we don't get caught by these Macedonians. Pull back here. You can see the amount of damage potential these guys can rack up really quite quickly. What else have we got coming up? So we've got some Principes. Get some shots up over here. We've got a little bit of arcing range. We're struggling a bit more on these guys frontally. So these guys have perhaps got a bit more upgraded in terms of their body armor. So we're only doing base penetration damage, you see. But now they've dropped into Testudo. We'll go for a focus fire in this sort of situation. We shouldn't cause too much friendly fire. And let's have a look how we're going to play this one. Now I think we'll keep pulling back. It looks like all the enemy cavalry is now dead, so we've not really got anything to worry about but infantry. And really with break ranks, you know, we're running at what, 4.8? Probably faster when we get a more favourable terrain, so nothing really for us to worry about too much. And it looks like we're going to be winning this infantry fight in the open shortly anyway. So we're not got too much to worry about here. I'm going to try and push around now to get maybe some rear shots on these enemy Romans is what I'd like to be doing. Let's have a little bit of a think here. See if we can do it with how much too much friendly fire. You see, it is worth it, but got to become, as now more allies move in, I think it's going to become less and less worth it. And these guys got a few people still alive. Yes. Try and get a last little bit of damage on these couple of people. Don't want to shoot my javelins in the face though. That will not be ideal. Make sure we're not going to be capped out by anything. Doesn't look like we are. Pretty much looks like we've about defeated the bulk of the enemy stuff. You know, this is probably the one limitation of Slingers in a situation like this, where archers, where I could focus fire, say here, and safely not hit because my units were shooting an arc. in this sort of situation, I'm just going to be shooting into the backs of my friendly units and will cause lots of friendly fires. It's not worth doing. So I think I'm just going to push up, see if we can get to the enemy base, maybe get some cap points. But I think, to be honest, it's all going to be over before we can do anything else. I think it's going to be a case of annihilation. Those guys are routing down there, the enemy there. So I think there we go. That's not been too bad a game with these guys. Really are quite powerful at this tier, Slingers. Yeah, quite easy to get good amounts of damage in. Use your range, keep it ranged from other ranged units, and you will easily outplay archers and things like that. At this tier, enemy archers really don't have a lot of in terms of body armor, so even though your missile weapon damage isn't that high, you will be easily exceeding their body armor to put in quite big amounts of hits. The only things you might be struggling against are things like enemy javelins, which are going to be a bit more resilient because they've got the shields. But barbarian archers and enemy Greek archers should go down pretty quickly in this sort of situation. Yeah, pretty much all there is to say about them, really. They're a pretty basic unit in terms of their playstyle. Got long range, use it. I'm running them with multi-80s, mostly because break ranks with that 18% movement speed. There's no real particular reason to be using Kanane. Yes, you do get rapid advance, which is kind of nice. But it's a larger movement speed for a shorter burst. And I'd rather have the continual break ranks of multi-80s. I think is a better ability, really. To be honest. Yeah, that's really all there is to say about them. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena, and I shall see you all on the next episode.